Hi everyone, welcome to Lighting Essentials. I'm Don and I'm going to work on an image that one of my workshop attendees did this past Saturday on December 1st at the workshop. This was one of the shots we did later in the day, and the lighting is kind of cool where you're actually using a softbox for the backlight and some fill cards for our main light up front. So it creates kind of a nice heavy backlight situation that I really like right here, but I do feel that the image maybe be just a bit underexposed, so the wrap didn't come around enough. So we're going to go ahead and fix that, and we're also going to give it a little bit more modern look. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to move this layer down, copying it, and we're going to use our screen to lighten it up. That might be just a little bit too light, so I'm going to drop it down to about 85 right there. About, yeah, 85, that looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and start with there. Now, a lot of the things that I do on these workshop little videos here, obviously you would take a little more time with them when you're doing them for yourselves. So please, I'm just working kind of quickly here to present some of the ideas. Next thing I'm going to do, of course, is use my stamp tool at Lighten at 24%. And I'm just going to come in here, and I think you can hear me clicking. I hope you can. You can see the little guy going. I like to 24%, and I like to just tap it in. I'm just going to clean up this little bit of the skin right here. Other than that, skin looks fine. There might be a couple little guys right in here that we can just fix up a little bit. Right there on the corner of her mouth. Right there. Okay. Looks pretty good. Maybe right in there. All right, that looks pretty good. I think her eyes are a little dark, so let's go ahead and grab the dodge tool. I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. I'm at 24%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. All right, that looks pretty good. She's got beautiful blue eyes. Let's go ahead and bring them back up, shall we? Let's go to saturate at about 60%. Let's bring these down just about like that. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Okay. It's not bringing out the blue in her eyes. I think may have had a color temperature situation here. I'm going to put a new layer in real quick. There we go. I'll go ahead and fill that with blue. Just a little bit of blue right here. Select feather 2. Okay. Going to fill it with blue. I'm going to grab that guy and put it right over here. And then I'm going to merge these two guys down together. I'm going to take this opacity right here, and I'm going to drop it way down to about 13%. Let's go in there and make sure we got no bleed over. Oh, it looks pretty good. Got a little bleed over right there. Take my eraser tool, just erase that bleed right where it kind of bled into there, and we've got a little more blue eye thing happening there. Okay. All right. Next thing we're going to do here is, of course, lower that down, so we're just dealing with one or two at a time. We're going to actually paint some highlights in. I'm going to drag this down, and I'm going to add a new layer to the top of it. Now this layer at the top is my highlights layer, and I'll turn it off right now, but what I'm going to do, actually, I'll go ahead and fill it. Edit, fill with 50% gray. Okay. I'm going to take that, I'm going to move it to overlay so I can see through it. But I'm going to go back to this image right now, and I'm going to add my blur. It's real important that on a shot like this, we get kind of a feeling of a more natural situation. So that's what we're going to try to do here. And I'm going to make this blur. I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Good blur. Okay, I'm going to add a layer mask right here with black as my foreground and about 60% here, and I'm going to go ahead and get my face back in here. I'm going to go ahead and keep brushing over. I don't want any softness here. The next part of the plane would be right about here. Maybe that hair coming in just a little bit over there. All right, now I'm going to lower the opacity on this down to about 30%. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here so I can really make this work. Take my brush again, and I can start to bring some of this hair in with a nice feather to it so it looks natural. Okay? All right. There we go. That looks pretty darn good. Okay. This layer here, I'm going to use my black brush here. I'm going to click D, and then I'm going to click X, but I'm going to turn it to white, and I'm going to put my opacity at 7%, and now I'm going to bring in some highlights into this hair, like this. Really only dealing with highlights right now. I really want to highlight this here. I want this feeling, remember we want the feeling of the light coming, wrapping right through this hair off that shoulder and coming right back down into here. So we're just going to come in here. I'm also going to lighten this face up just a little bit. A little highlight control. Just like that. Come down over the shoulder. Just give me a little highlight on that shoulder. It didn't exist, but we're just going to brush it in there. Okay. That's with it on. That's with it off. With it on. With it off. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and blend these guys down or flatten the image. You don't have to do that. Obviously, you can work in layers, but I want my movie to move a little faster here. I don't want to spend time for it to render. So I'm going to go to my burn tool here, and my brush is fine. Let's bring it up here. Exposure of 15%. I'm just going to put some dark back in. Just kind of brush it in here and there so it has a feeling of depth to it. Okay? All right, that's looking pretty darn good. We could be happy at this particular point and simply go to my final thing, which is filter, sharpen, unsharp mask, 200:03. You can see the difference in the sharpness as I let go of this. Okay, we could just do that. That's with the sharpness. That's without. That's with. That's without. All right. But we're going to go one step further, and we're going to take that sponge tool again into those eyes. There we go. We're going to go one step further. Oh, that didn't work at all. I didn't mean to do that. One step further and run an action here called the Acme Glam action by a friend of mine named Adam Nollmeyer. So we're going to go ahead and run this action. It's going to be a little heavy-handed here at first. Obviously heavy-handed at first, but I'm going to drop this action way down to about 25%. Does it show very much? Yeah, see? With it, without it, with it. We get that little bit of glow. See, that's pretty nice. Flatten that image, and the last thing I'm going to do is put a new layer on it. I'm going to choose this nice orange here, and I'm going to get a big soft brush here with that orange, and I'm just going to paint some orange in here. Let's go to an opacity that makes sense down there. Let's go to about 35%. I'm going to paint some orange back in here. Now remember, this orange is, we want that sort of natural feeling to the sky here. That looks pretty bad, doesn't it, huh? Isn't that bad? That's bad. That's really bad. So we're going to take our opacity and we're going to drop that opacity right down to about 15%. And that warms that up just a little bit back there. So now I get that sort of nice natural feeling. It's without it. It's with it. I kind of like the orange. I kind of don't like the pure white back there. I kind of like that. But anyway, that's how we created this shot, and I'm glad you came along. Hope you liked it, and I'll see you soon over at lighting-essentials.com. Take care.